You a friend of the bride or groom? Groom. Went to high school together in Jersey. You? Bride. She's a colleague. The men jutted chins toward each other as some sort of grunted acceptance. So, you don't like weddings and you don't drink. What happened last night? Chuck said. Long week. What about you? Why'd you jump in? Weddings agitated Jett as much as alcohol. The two together, disaster. Longer week. Jett laughed. 8 days? Without the Beatles singing in the background. I'm on the same calendar. This will cost me. Chuck gripped his hands into fists, and the line of his jaw was taut with tension. Both of us. I expect a bill from the bride's father. That? So what? This will cost me more than... Did they read you the charges? Jett pointed to his head. Took me a minute when I woke up to figure out why I was in here. Chuck relaxed his hands. Disorderly conduct, public intoxication, assault. His composure changed as he rattled off the charges, his voice thick with anger. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Stupid was one word for it. Jett should have stayed home, apologized to the bride Jen after the fact. I wanted to come, but weddings... But weddings what? Reminded him of what he'd lost? Awakened the heartache he'd finally put to rest? Yet he couldn't go through life hiding from the happiness of others. Besides, being on faculty at the illustrious private elite New York college came with certain obligations. He'd be considered aloof and unsupportive if he avoided Jen's nuptials. And he sort of owed her. She had listened to his sob stories when his wife walked out, and she had rallied the rest of the faculty around him. Attending her wedding was the least he could do. It was any man's guess how much the reception damage would set him back. A lot more than a humble apology. That groomsman was a piece of work. Chuck paced in tight circles, muttering to himself. The bridesmaid told him to leave her alone, what, a dozen times? This will ruin me. Jett recognized the underlying darkness in Chuck's expression, shadowed even more by his dark hooded eyes. Ruin you? Ruin me. His reply came fast and hot. She'll find out. She will. I'll lose them. Lose who? Chuck sat on a bench someone had vacated for the toilet and covered his face with his wide hands. Seems ironic, doesn't it? Jett walked over and patted his stone-hard shoulder. The two of us behind bars for defending a bridesmaid's honor while the offender walks free? What happened to chivalry? The big guy never raised his head. You okay? Jett angled forward to see his face. No. Chuck stood, rising to his full height. Hard to believe he folded himself into an Uber job all day. I've probably ruined my life. Come on, can't be as bad as all that, man. A tussle at a wedding reception? He cheered himself as much as Chuck. Nothing more than a civil violation. Surely a petty crime wouldn't ruin anyone's life. We'll pay a fine and go home. You don't understand. I can't afford anything like this. Chuck touched a laceration on his cheek. You throw a mean punch. Sorry, man. Don't be. I should have kept my nose out of it. Chuck pointed to his knuckles, then Jett's. You're pretty banged up. Will this get you in trouble with your college? Not sure. Jett extended his fingers once more against the swelling and aching. His knuckles were scraped and bruised, and when he ran his hand along his jaw, he grazed one cut, then another. When he touched the area around his eye, he winced. With that, Chuck returned to his hunched position, head in his hands. What else could he say to the guy? Yo, Mr. Police Officer? Jett peered down the corridor for a sign of deliverance. A fellow inmate roused with a laugh. You stuck here till they come for you. What happened to swift justice? With a sigh, he sat next to Chuck, his ripped tuxedo collar dangling over his shoulder. He noticed 2 coat buttons were missing, and his shirt was torn and stained red.